What's up, everyone? Kenos back for this last set of games here with the very worn out Trufflesaurus. How you holding up, Truffle?
I I think my heart rate's coming down after the last game because man, that was a great set. I don't know that this one can hype it, although looking at the teams that are playing, I absolutely think that they can.
Yeah, I would agree quite a lot. Phoenix versus Nine Lives. Going to pop over to the outdated standings here. T- as close to tied as you can get, third and fourth place, respectively. Obviously, it's a little bit adjusted here since then. White Wolf is tied for third now and all that fun stuff. But the important thing is that Phoenix, if they win both their games, could be tied for first place at the end here. Um, Definitely a rising star here after doing really badly early in the split.
Yeah, Phoenix certainly dialed in their team synergy and figured out how to play together, and it feels like they really turned on right around week two or more likely three. They've really started to get turning on all cylinders. So very interesting to see how they're going to do against Nine Lives, who is coming off of a bye week. But at the start of that bye week was actually basically in first place or second place. So certainly going to be a determining match to see who makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that part of that is helped by Fat Lee's addition to the team. He came in about halfway through the split, very strong jungler presence, and we'll just have to see if he continues to help them execute. But I mean, like you said, there's a lot of talent on Phoenix, and hopefully they can have that carry them forward. We're jumping right into Champ Select here. So we'll see what the kind of bans there are. Lots of focuses for particular targeted bans against Phoenix. Hohenheim, of course, huge mid lane threat. Alon Z Tardis got his Alistar pick. Darien with the Malphite, Maokai, and of course Fat Lee in the jungle. So it's hard to know who's going to get banned out.
Yeah, exactly. We could be maybe a tank top for Darien. His Malphite is terrifying. Oh, it's already been banned. That's probably why it was on the top of my mind. Fat Lee's Sue is also, or Fat Lee's Udyr is quite a challenge to deal with as well. And then I hated playing against Van Hohenheim. His characters, he plays his characters so well. One good thing that they do have going for them, this is Nine Lives, one thing that Nine Lives has going for them is that CB Hickey does play Veigar, and they can steal that away from Van Hohenheim without having to ban it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that may also then mean that Hohenheim will call for the Vhagar ban himself. We've seen that happen several times where Phoenix doesn't like you playing with their toys. So we'll see what happens. A Mumu ban is interesting. Fatly's been playing a lot of Gragas lately.
Oh, that's right. His Gragas last week was a force to be reckoned with. It took just a minute or two to get online, but once it was, he was one-shotting the carries in the backline. It was terrifying for his opponents, I'm sure.
All right, taking out that Lucian. That bot lane, Brandana Gregosaurus, of course, a very powerful duo. We say it every single week, and every single week it's true.
Yeah, they certainly not only did do we kind of expect that at the start of the split, but they have proven that more than a little bit.
No,
No ban.
Yeah, misban there, probably due to a sub penalty.
Do they have a sub? Is Nebula in a sub?
No, I forget. I can check.
I'm actually currently checking.
All right. Well, there's the Vhagar ban, like we mentioned.
There it is. Came through.
Got to.
Maybe Nine Lives is throwing down the gauntlet and saying, "I don't even need this ban versus you." No, this is their normal team. So that must have just been a mistaken misban, but it happens.
Well, we'll see who they regret not picking. Going straight for Satan, so that's good.
Starting off easy with just a low key Satan.
I'm expecting Darian's going to play Maokai. Oh, right.
The
We forgot. Everyone forgets that this is the Phoenix's new thing. This is why they're in third place right now, or
Yes.
were at the start of this, is because they have developed this team composition that no one has been able to beat.
I kind of ran out of time to say it too, but I was going to mention Fiddlesticks here because I absolutely think that their third ban, if for Nine Lives, should have been Fiddlesticks. That has proven multiple times to be more than most teams bargain for.
Ooh, a Camille. That's
I
interesting.
love seeing Camille. I think that that's going into the jungle. I don't know what Darian's been up to lately, but his usual MO is to play a tank. So I wonder if that Camille is going to the jungle.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say Camille is not his typical kind of champion. So we'll have to see. But
Countered by a Vi from Nebula, and certainly can build tanky or damage. I think Vi is a decent counter to Camille. I actually kind of want to see how this ends up working out.
I'm very interested in the Zillion pick as well. Assuming that's a Zillion mid. They got to find some way to shut down this Fiddlesticks. Because I mean that this has been a problem for everyone who's run a Phoenix. Like I said, I actually have on my notes here because we have Fat Lee joined week 3, and that was when Phoenix first started winning games. And then week 4 and week 5 they pulled out this Fiddlesticks. And now we're here on week 6 and no one's learned yet. Or everyone keeps forgetting.
They always ban at the second game, is what I'm noticing. So,
Galio ban, interesting. So that implies they don't believe that Zillion is mid. Or that the Teemo is top, one or the other. Well, there goes the Maokai.
oh yeah,
Everyone's gambling on who the bans are.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've known Darian for a very long time, and back in the day, he would play damage. He's just normally happy to play the tank if the team needs it. So I wonder if he's been secretly practicing this Camille or something. It could be possible that Nine Lives has done their research and is well aware. Likewise with that Zillion pick, I don't know if Gregosaurus plays Zillion, so at least I don't know that he's ever shown it before.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Other two bans are much safer, both targeting ADCs.
Kai'Sa's still up though. I know Brandana was an early adopter of Kai'Sa. I'm not sure how often he's played it lately. That's an Aatrox top lane, I believe. Oh, what is that? Is that an Aatrox top lane? Is Darian breaking the mold?
It could be it's probably an Aatrox top lane. I mean, at this point, it's either Camille or Aatrox top. But I mean, Aatrox is somewhat durable.
Yeah, and he's got that ult, which will like let him come back to life or whatever. But it's not quite the front line that. So I'd expect a big tank coming out of Allen Ztardis, but
Alistar is still available, especially if Gregosaurus picks Brand here.
Okay, and
or Blood. Yeah. See, I was gonna say I don't really. The Brahm's a better pick than whatever else is being shuffled there.
Yeah, the Brand may have been a call out to old school days when I would play with Gregosaurus and he was Brand support, but yeah, there's certainly enough magic damage. I don't think that they need the Brand, and there's not really the front line. I'm find this comp very interesting out of Team Phoenix. I trust that they've done their research, they've done their homework, and they're happy with the comp, but there's no frontline on them. There's tons of CC though, so they can absolutely prevent a team from jumping on Caitlyn, if they don't want that to happen. So that's very much still an option, but there's no tanks. There's no front to back like.
I mean, I have very limited experience with new Aatrox, but my understanding is that he can be durable if he wants to.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Jarvan. Jarvan can build
Sure.
tank, but you don't ever do that because it's just worse.
Well, I mean, C9 also, not C9, 9 Lives, also doesn't really, only has one tank, and it's a support tank. And not even the tankiest of support tanks. So I'd say both teams are more or less equivalent, with Phoenix having a lot of damage to supplement the fact that they don't have a true tank. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of damage on both teams, and there's a lot of half tanks on both teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's well rather Lulu can make someone into a half tank, and Vi is just like J4. You can build her tanky or damage. Although I think damage is usually better, but that's kind of solo queue mentality. I'm not sure what people are going to bring into this match. But
I'm not a huge fan of the Vayne. obviously Brandana can do a lot with whatever ADC he chooses to use, but Vayne's very short range makes her a huge target for someone like Camille or Fiddlesticks.
Yep, but when you look at them, Fiddlesticks, Camille, and Aatrox all want to jump in on you, and Vayne has that knockaway.
Hmm.
I can imagine that there'd be some very excellent condemns into Fiddlestick Crow Storms, sort of negating that ult, although there's always Zonias and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but you're right, it's absolutely a liability, but I wonder if Brandana will be able to execute on that to a very high degree and make it a very high risk, high reward champion choice.
I'm very interested to see how Teemo and Aatrox work out fighting each other in top lane.
Yeah, Aatrox. Yeah, so let's talk. Lots to talk about. I mean, the fact that Brandana is playing Vayne only got like 20 seconds of talk time, but that's just because there's so much going on here, right? Darian breaking the mold, playing Aatrox. The more I think about it, the more I think he's building tank. I think you're absolutely correct there, Kenos. But the thing about Aatrox is he doesn't really rely on auto attacks. So that blinding dart of Teemo, the one of the really frustrating parts of Teemo, is a non-factor into Aatrox. Because his Q's kind of like Riffin's and it just smashes down. Um, it doesn't need to like connect like an auto attack would.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of I do like the idea of Teemo though. If a Fiddlesticks does kind of teleport, or, teleport in as it were with his ultimate, if he lands in a pile of shrooms, it's not going to be good for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, Teemo I think is a reasonable choice for it. Vi of course has a lot of disruption abilities. Zillion can save anyone who's near death, especially in that Crow Storm, because Crow Storm you can't choose to not deal damage. So if there's someone low health in Fiddlesticks' aura, they're gonna die no matter what.
Right. And yeah, exactly. Um,
I mean, I'm very excited to see if Nine Lives has the answer to this Fiddlesticks formula, because they had to have known they were going into this.
yeah, and I think that Zillion choice is certainly not the worst thing to run into Fiddlesticks. I think that may have been a prepared counter, like you're suggesting.
Well, let's find out. We're heading into the Nero Skin Challenge. Uh, I'm not too in the know about a lot of these characters' skin possibilities, so we'll see what we get.
Teemo has almost as many as Lux, so
I'm expecting either B or Devil Teemo. It could be Space Cadet Teemo also.
and the Commando one's pretty good too.
Hmm.
But that's my personal taste, you know. Um,
Yep.
yeah,
Oh,
Omega Squad, okay.
cool. Groovy
Groovy
Zillion.
Zillion.
Yeah. All right, so no skins on Phoenix. So Nine Lives gets that by default then. I
Well,
mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah, three no skins. Holy cow! Are they even trying? No.
well, like you said, this is a breaking of the mold a little bit here. So probably not something they've invested in as much. Oh, right, the chat doesn't work. Silly me.
I
All right.
know. Little things that annoy casters, right?
All right, so after that Nero Skin Challenge, also like to remind everyone that this third game is brought to you by all of our Twitch Prime subs through Amazon Prime and everything else. Thank you all for your continued support. I don't have a list of all the names, but you all know who you are and you're all awesome. If you'd like to be more awesome, feel free to become a Twitch Prime sub.
+1 to awesome level.
And then get in fights with Arcane Soda over bits. It's like its own game. Alright, we may have a little invade here. I actually really like new Aatrox, if not from a gameplay perspective, like a lore perspective.
I don't even remember his old one. I remember it had something to do with Darken, kind of similar to Kane, but yeah, his new lore is actually pretty baller. I'm not gonna lie.
And just like the fact that he's now doesn't have the wings but can pop them later and carries a sword around his back like that. It's all really cool. Alonzi enjoying himself in the bush there. Alright, so no one's falling for this, which is good. Let's see what kind of...
Well, it's the Van Hohenheim special. Everyone knows that he likes to position in this little quadrant. So basically, both teams have just played around it, and it resolves.
So we will see how this works out. Once again, really keeping an eye on this mid lane. See if CB Hickey can deal with one of Hohenheim's new favorite toys. See how Fat Lee does on his new toy. Everyone's got new toys on Phoenix. Early gank here? Or early possibility of a gank.
Yeah, he's certainly considering it. It'd be huge to shut down Vayne very early.
Phoenix is letting them get a little forward. And here comes Fat Lee. Oh man, right into Gregosaurus. All summoners blown, but gets away.
That was a perfect body block coming out of Gregosaurus to stand in the way like that. That was absolutely critical.
Still there, but is spotted, so probably gonna back off now. Other lanes.
Meanwhile, Satan is Satanizing.
Yeah, Darian taken very low. Not that surprising. Darian is known to suffer.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that on Aatrox. That's part of breaking the mold. Is and I know Aatrox is just like Riven, where he gets more and more. Never mind, gank coming into mid. Electrocute damage, flash forward on CB Hickey. He's already dead. Teemo goes down as well. Darian doing lots of damage. Vi is going to get in there and secure that. Well done on Nebulon. 2 for 1 across the map.
Missed the first blood there, but well done by Darian to get something out of that in the top lane.
Yeah, also a very strong gank coming out of Fat Lee into mid lane, forcing out CB Hickey's flash. It's not the start you want to have. But
So very aggressive game here from both sides. And it's definitely the type of game that I think Nine Lives is going to want. But we'll see where the tempo takes them.
honestly, both teams have their strategy out there. Phoenix is a very clear strategy as well. In fact, Camille is sitting here camping, waiting for Udge to step a little bit too far forward with that Teemo. I think Darian's actually going to be a huge threat. I think that he's been working on this for a while just based on how he's playing it.
Yeah, Fat Lee gets spotted. Good awareness there by Huge. Ooh, that skill shot should have hit. Tough break, Gregosaurus.
Yeah, he's allowed to miss one every once in a while, right?
Alright, Cloud Drake is the first Drake available. We'll see when they decide to emphasize that.
Still though, Brandana and Gregosaurus survive a gank and also have pressure in the lane. Pretty even health bars as well to boot, and that is not what Vayne's is supposed to do. Gank coming into mid again. CB Hickey makes it out with his speed up ability.
Yeah, good ward placement as well, predicting that sort of thing. Darian going pretty deep now, might be able to get Huge here. Does have the chain available, hits him again. One more auto. Wow. Good damage there.
Yeah, Aatrox is a force to be reckoned with for sure. At first, I wasn't sure how comfortable Darian was going to be on Aatrox, but certainly looking the part.
Was briefly thinking about trying something for blue buff there, but decides against it because it's not there. Drops a control ward as well. Here comes Vi. Let's see what happens. Flash is blown. Elonzi unfortunately caught very far out. Juked when he should have jived.
So it's a good thing that Phoenix has already gotten some early kills and some start, because this Vayne getting a kill is going to springboard Brandana, the very last person you want to springboard on Vayne, into the late game very early, and Vayne is the last person you want to, the last character that you want to get to the late game early. So definitely a bit of a win condition here as well for 9 lives.
That being said, Brandana has to thank Pixels for quite a lot, because Port Swimmer almost killed him twice.
yeah, it was super close. The Van Hohenheim did ult, flashed as well, but the time warp from CB Hickey, the speed up move, absolutely able to negate a lot of that. I think that that's a huge part of the counter pick, and I do think that that's an inspired, prepared pick against Van Hohenheim's Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, I mean, the speed up helps quite a lot. You can get out of that aura very quickly, and once again, you can basically ult on your own terms. Interested to see how this works out here. Fat Lee is sitting there. Not sure if he was spotted or just good instincts there by Hickey.
And also, that's been flying under the radar and probably shouldn't. I don't know that I've ever seen Fat Lee play Camille before, at least in organized play, but he's off to a great start, has 1 kill, is a bit behind in farm, but you'd expect that kind of thing on a Camille.
Well, he's also behind in farm because he's been sitting in the bushes a lot, waiting for gank opportunities that haven't shown up.
Well, right, but that's what you're supposed to do on Camille. Camille is meant to be a ganking jungler more so than a... So, I at least in my opinion, I think he's playing the champion correctly, but still is significantly far behind. I think this is part of why Vi is such a good pick into Camille as a jungle counter, because Vi is just a farming version of Camille essentially.
Darien is now scaring Huge quite a bit. Whether it's because of the lack of reliance on mana, just some of the big AoE swings, but Huge is now respecting Darien quite a lot, and almost saw why there. There's the chain again. Does ult as well.
I'm not sure you needed to do that, yeah.
Not really paying off there.
The ult does increase your damage, so I think he was going for a kill threat when he didn't, but I don't think that ulting at the end of his combo was the right choice there. In fact, but you know, I'm just nitpicking here. Lots of damage. Big fight in bot lane.
Yep. Very over-aggressive play there by Nebulon. Blue flash to close in, immediately got turned into a cute little squirrel.
And then landed on top of a trap at the end of his ult, which is very bad when that's under turret range.
Yeah. Here comes Fat Lee going for some blue steals. Hohenheim's with him. Probably gonna get this relatively free.
Yeah, I think if the jungler's dead and the other guys push under turret, right? But
yeah, so definitely got to keep an eye out for some of those plays. That's something that I think LNZ will be able to help out his team a great deal with. Is that if you can use that little transformation ability, what's it called? Whimsy? Yeah.
Yep.
If you can use Whimsy on, say, CB Hickey or something like that, take some of those counters off the board. That'll help out characters like Hohenheim quite a bit.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't use your abilities, right? So you can't chrono shift, you can't do anything like that, and that sort of prevents him from fighting the fight on his own terms, like you mentioned. The key part of the pick.
Another attempt to try to do some little engagements. Brandana getting a little bit of damage off there. Port Swimmer wisely netted away. Good shield there as well.
A very aggressive set of plays coming out of this bot lane kind of shows that they want to get started right away. Although I'm not sure that it's necessarily the right choice, but they have kind of been working out, and I'm not one to question Brandana. So.
Double the farm on this Vi. That's might be important later.
Yeah, it's a completed Warrior's Enchant on the Vi compared to a Tiamat and just the Skirmishing Saber on Camille.
Oh, here comes Brandana again. Oh, good stun there. The Wild Growth is activated. Alonzi very low. He's going to go down. Might get more. Gregosaurus wisely flashes out. Wow.
Oh, that was so well played out of Brandana and Gregosaurus. Brandana dives off, leaving Gregosaurus to kind of soak that Caitlyn damage from Port Swimmer for a scary amount of time. But Brandana secures the Lulu kill as well before going back. And because Gregosaurus was able to flash into that bush and there was no vision, they were able to keep him alive as well. Really well played.
Hohenheim was trying to ambush there, but got spotted for taking the crab in the river. Alright, some pings for Cloud Drake here. Oh, actually, no, the grab got taken by the other side. Weird red circle there. Whatever.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
this does look. Oh yeah. But at least there's no Evelyn in this game.
Yeah. Something's lying to the spectators here. It's either this red circle or it's the mini-map, but I'm guessing it's the red circle. You can't trust your mini-map, you can't trust anything. Alright,
Another
here
Fiddle
comes
Six ult.
Hohenheim's combo again. Resurrection popped.
That.
Yeah, the flash I don't think was necessary, but worked
Oh
well.
yeah, for sure. Ooh, gank at top lane.
Fat Lee's here too.
Oh, it's a counter gank as well. Is that ult up? The ult is up. Darien needs to ult. There he is. He's done it.
There's the prison. Oh man, this is not working well for him at all.
Well, to be fair, I think it's actually that Vi counters Camille more so than anything else because what happened is Fatley immediately got destroyed in that due to the damage coming from this very far ahead Vi.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed there. And the further ahead this Vi gets, the more the lack of a true tank will impact this game.
Yeah, it's a 5-in-1 Vi. Never mind the almost double CS that Nebulon has put on over Fat Lee, but also the 5 kills. That is insane. Completed Ninja Tabi as well as double daggers. This is going to get scary very quickly.
Almost has double the gold value of Fat Lee right now.
And speaking of a little bit scary, that's already completed Boric on Brandana's Vayne as well, competing with completed boots and BF Sword from Port Swimmer. So Port Swimmer not necessarily that far behind, but just the item spikes work out very much in the favor of Vayne.
Oh, here comes the stun. Port Swimmer flashes, tries to go forward. Fat Lee jumps back in. Gregosaurus gets healed up there. Everyone's here now. There's that stupid spectator snipe effect. Hugify gets up, flash blown there. Nebulon gets another kill. Brandana may end up dying here, though. Fat Lee, unfortunately, doesn't have the way to gap close there. Alan Z. Tardis trying to get a last kill. Does not get it. Brandana very low. Boy, I bet you wish you had Karthus on your team.
Oh, man, that is... That was close to successfully getting it back from Phoenix side, but 9 lives starting out very quickly by destroying Phoenix in a couple of these team fights.
3-0 Vayne, 6-1 Vi. This is a very scary team, and I don't know if Phoenix can come back from it.
And the thing that impresses me the most about 9 Lives play is how well they are playing around their victory conditions and minimizing their potential weaknesses, while Flash is actually forced out of huge just by a Darien combo.
Yeah,
but they're... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like you mentioned, Darien is completely unimpressed by Blind.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a huge part of that pick. And actually, I would say that the Darien pick is probably the best thing that, the Aatrox pick on Darien is probably the best thing going for Phoenix. This might very well be their win condition. And actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, that kind of makes sense to me to put Darien on damage because you know that your lane is dealing with Brandana and Gregosaurus. So it doesn't make sense to put all of your eggs in the bot lane basket.
There's going to be a dead basket here in a second. Does ult just to live. We have Fat Lee coming up here, but we saw this thing happen already. Blown ult, which is very interesting. Here comes Fat Lee. Can Fat Lee beat him 1v1? Does. All right. Huge shutdown gold there. That's what they needed.
And yeah, absolutely. Nebulon getting shut down, massive thing. Exactly like what you said. But what I think that was is I think either Nebulon isn't comfortable or familiar with the Aatrox kid in that capacity. He is a bit of a rare pick in solo queue, or just didn't respect the amount of damage that Darien could put out on that. After all, he doesn't have a completed back cleaver. In either case, a little bit too aggressive there, and a great roam up by Fat Lee.
Yeah, I would not have wasted my ult there just to pop Darien's ult.
And I think what it might have been is he might have thought that it was going to time out soon because Darien did pop it a little bit earlier than I think I would have personally. Not that I know how to play Aatrox with that asterisk, but Darien pops it pretty early to get the extra damage, and I can respect that play. I think what happened is that Nebulon thought it was going to time out and popped his ult, but it didn't, so he wasn't able to secure the kill, and instead took a couple turret shots.
Right, a lot of rotations here now. Darien just barely doesn't set off that Teemo trap. Hohenheim goes mid again here. Hickey's going to pop his ult. No surprise. See if Hohenheim can stop it here. We do have Fat Lee here coming to help, and that will probably do it. Hohenheim stops chasing entirely. Vi is now in the bot lane again. Alonz goes down. Port Swimmer is probably next.
And if I'm 9 lives, I will take that any day. CB Hickey getting 2v1, unfortunate, but the pick is working out very well against Van Hohenheim specifically. And just as a result of the pressure, they're able to be a little bit more successful than they would have been otherwise with the ganking coming out of Fat Lee. But having said that, all of his bot lane focus is getting Brandana stupidly far ahead right off the bat. First turret does go over a little bit before Brandana is able to secure it in this bot lane. In fact, oh, they might secure it here. But still, this Brandana is going to have 2 completed items on this bag, which is that terrifies me at least.
I do like how Hohenheim gave Fat Lee that kill. I don't know if it was intentional or if it, I mean, like intentional in the state of mind of saying, okay, you need this, or if it was intentional in just the, well, I need to go back and keep doing my thing because Fat Lee will finish this. Because Fat Lee definitely needs it a lot more than Hohenheim does right now.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks is going to do a lot of damage and gets that CS. Fat Lee really does need to cash out on those ganks, just like you said. So intentional or not, I really like that. It worked out that way for Team Phoenix.
Earth Drake will be the next one up. We will see who makes a go at it. Both teams do have 1 tower, but 3,000 gold differential, which is basically entirely Vi right now. But that also makes it kind of dangerous, because if Vi is not where the fight is, then I think Phoenix still has a good chance to keep in this.
There is a 1,200 gold lead on Brandana as well over Port Swimmer, so that is a little bit of it too, but you're absolutely right. If the two of them are not present, it is bad news bears if a team fight breaks out.
Right. I mean, if it's just like a 3v3, 1v1, I think Phoenix still has a shot. We'll see what happens here. There is definitely an opportunity for some hijinks here. Gregosaurus misses the skill shot. Very important there. Darien might be in a 2v1. Probably does not want that. And we have Hohenheim who gets spotted here. Doesn't seem like 9 Lives cares, but they are aware of it. Here comes the channel. Doesn't step on any traps. There's that pushback you were talking about, though the fear is very powerful. Blocks snipe.
A lot of damage came out. I'm not sure that he needed to step forward, but it's good to see that he's very cognizant of that very important interaction. I think it would have been a little bit better if Gregosaurus had just... I think that he was outpacing it and just would eventually jump to Brandana when that was off cooldown.
Alright. Alonz and Port Swimmer are both relatively low considering damage potential coming out. Fat Lee almost killed there by Teemo. Almost walks into a mushroom, but fortunately for them, Hohenheim gets it. Port Swimmer in a lot of trouble, gets ulted, but no follow-up.
Oh, and that's very important too. Gregosaur is well aware of this interaction. Throws out his shield and destroys the bouncing crow that does the silence. That is so important in Fiddlestick's kit. And Gregosaur is very on top of that. I really like this brand pick into Fiddlesticks. It looks like 9 Lives did lots of homework. They are absolutely prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, especially with the Caitlyn being involved too. Caitlyn, of course, is a strong pick against Vayne, but with a Braum helping. Darien might get caught here. Nope. So there's 4 people top. Hohenheim is Star Dragon.
Oh, speaking of Darien, he is indeed a little bit caught here. Braum gets the stun out. In fact, it might not be Darien that's caught. It might be Gregosaurus. Although Vi is now present, so lots of damage are present. Brandana also getting in on this. Ult is there. Aatrox should be able to get over this wall. Okay, he does have to flash. Flash match by Nebulon.
Does have the dash, though. Very good.
Yes.
Alright, so manages to get out of there. Meanwhile, Dragon finally gets taken out. Fat Lee alone at the tower. 4 in mid here. Darien very low. I think he should go back and like teleport or something. Here comes Surprise Party, though. Lots of damage coming out. The chain as well. That's a dead Braum. Get out of there while you're ahead, guys. Seriously, get out of there while you're ahead. Just leave.
9 Lives is doing a great job. Like I said, I think very prepared, but Phoenix is adapting fantastically, playing very hard into this as well. I don't think that they're out for the count by any stretch of the imagination.
Nebulon, however, is split pushing with his 7 and 2. We'll take out this last turret and run. So while Phoenix, like you said, is adapting, is for the most part taking what wins they can get and getting out, they are also 5,000 gold in the hole.
Yeah, and that is at 21.5 minutes into the game, which is not, which is a very significant lead. Not quite the 8,000 point of no return, but yeah, this is certainly an uphill battle for Phoenix. They're gonna have to play almost perfectly if they want to stay in this game. However, they have been playing very close to perfectly.
Yeah, they need vision on Baron. Do put down a control ward there. Darien gonna clear out all the wards in this bush here. Alright, there's a ping call to go for the top turret. We'll see how well they rotate for that.
Darien did leave his teleport up for better or for worse. It worked out just fine for him. So he does have this teleport whenever he needs to. In fact, I think I'd like to see him in bot lane and instead have Port Swimmer farming top lane safely. But that's not what Phoenix wants to do.
Well, I don't know how safe top lane is either. There's no turrets there.
I say safe. I was saying safe because Lulu was present in top lane.
Yes, yeah,
but
the rotation is good. So far, Gregosaurus is the only one up here. We will see if who else comes up to challenge Darien. It looks like at the moment it's just going to be huge. Darien actually just puts down a ward there. Decent placement. Mushrooms coming out. Yeah, big rotation. Now Darien's got to get out of there. Oh, decides to engage. Does pop ult. He is 4v1ing right now.
Fiddlesticks, though. Fiddlesticks jumps in, probably out of vision. I'm not sure that they reacted. He died immediately before he was able to get damage. Udge jumps in. Camille gets involved.
Oh, the blinds. The blinds!
I was wondering what happened. I expected their team to explode, but Fat Lee gets shut down by the blind. Also, there was a Zillion ult on, I think it was Brandana, just for good measure as well. 9 lives, very, very competently handling that engage.
God, that was so painful to watch. I'm sorry to any ADC mains who watched that huge versus Port Swimmer fight.
Oh goodness!
They all need like some counseling after that. God, I don't even play ADC and I'm sad.
Lots of Baron damage coming out. Gregosaurus clearing it. Ends up being needed there. Looks like they're gonna get it safely, but that was a 5 for 0 ace while the jungler split push in bot lane, and the rest of the other 4 members of 9 Lives secured Baron anyways. Gaining stuff across the board. Things are looking very grave indeed for Phoenix.
Yeah, I would agree. And like you said, assuming that Phoenix does not come back from this game and ends up getting 2-0'd, I'd be very interested to ask 9 Lives what kind of thought went into this team comp specifically. But it's still possible for Phoenix. I mean, they are 12,000 gold in the hole, which typically doesn't mean that they'll be able to come back. But stranger things have happened. I can't think of any offhand, but stranger things have happened.
But to add to that, it's 12,000 gold and 25 minutes into the game. This is a truly massive lead. It's like 50% of their total gold or something. I think it's closer to 30, but
yep.
You know. Math is hard.
Alright, so here they basically have to hopefully get some picks while playing defensively. Port Swimmer is way too far forward for what I just said, so good traps though. This is the kind of trap placement I would like to see in our earlier set of games.
Teemo's getting a solid amount of split push off, although it does back off. I'm not sure if that was needed, but there aren't any wards, so that is certainly something that needs to be addressed.
Port Swimmer is taking a lot of damage here. I'd like to see some kind of lifesteal off him. Which may
Especially with like the poison of Teemo and the bombs of Zillion and stuff, that lifesteal is going to just get more and more important as the delayed damage ramps up in this game.
big grouping here by 9 lives. Of course,
They
also.
actually,
Oh,
holy cow! I didn't even have time to like comprehend, much less react to that one.
and let's remember that's Vi's first kill in a while.
Can Twitch chat press F for respects on that one because Force Swimmer absolutely got destroyed.
All right, and here comes the 7-0 Vayne beating down your door. Lot of deathless ADCs today.
Holy cow! They played
There's
this
those
so well.
there's those mechanics. Just forget to watch Brandana. Point and click.
Ooh, Vi forced to flash out, but Trunks Darien almost to death forces out the ult.
That's a big Darien though. Fat Lee tries to go in. He's gone. Darien's gone. 8-0.
I think that Gage was their last chance, but unfortunately for them it didn't work.
10-0. There's that stopwatch finally for Hohenheim. Another ace.
Oh.
Braum steals a kill, but that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, 9lives destroys Phoenix with one of the best prepared team comps that I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, 9lives, despite comments about never banning the fiddlesticks, proves that you can outthink gimmick team comps.
Well, you just have to give them a couple of weeks, right? It's only
Yeah.
been like 3 weeks or something, so...
Yeah, takes 3 weeks to figure it out, but you can beat gimmick team comps. Just believe in yourself. And give them 3 weeks. Alright, graphs. There's that Vayne. There's the one-sided games I was talking about earlier. Very painful for Phoenix, unfortunately.
Oh, look at that damage. You don't want to get Brandana ahead. You don't want to get a Vayne ahead. But most importantly, you don't want to get a Brandana on Vayne ahead. That is bad news. And meanwhile, I think that the early game was borderline carried by Nebula.
Yeah,
So.
Nebulon did very well early game. And would have had more of an impact, but was split pushing instead, which worked in for its own merits. So very well done. Can't be said enough. Very well done by 9lives there. So we will go into a brief break here as we get the next game set up, and we will see if Phoenix can redeem themselves. Maybe try a different team comp or adjust the same one with some good bans. And we'll head into the last game of the night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.